The appointment of Steve Keane, Melbourne Victory are still in a battle to avoid the club's first ever wooden spoon. Let's have a look at the team news for this one tonight. And a couple of changes for Melbourne Victory. Dylan Ryan makes his 16th start of the season as Nick Ansell succumbs to yet another injury. It's an injury-plagued season for the central defender. Dylan Ryan also about to head over to Spain in a pre-Olympic tournament with Graham Arnold. Jay Barnett, the other one who comes into the starting 11 for Elvis Kamsoba. And it's a first look tonight for a player that a lot of Victory fans want to see a lot more of on the bench. Number 34, Gianluca Iannucci, the 19-year-old who had a debut in the Asian Champions League earlier this season. 3 changes for the Reds this evening and a late one too. Carl Viet makes those 3 changes after the midweek loss in Perth. Stefan Mork returns to the midfield, and in defence, some experience with Michael Jakobsen returning to the heart of their defence. The former Melbourne City defender playing in his 107th A-League game tonight. The other change is Pacific Nyongabiri, who comes into the starting 11 as well. Lee Broxham, a key player for Melbourne Victory this evening. He's been Mr. Fix-It over the years. He'll show his versatility yet again tonight, starting in the heart of Melbourne Victory's defence in game number 334 for Melbourne Victory. Extraordinary. The 33-year-old not contracted next season. I wonder whether Tony Popovich has been on the phone to him or not, or will be over the next few weeks. One of those late changes for Adelaide United tonight. Pacific Nyongabiri was not named in the starting 11 earlier, but a late change with an injury to Kusini Yengi in the warm-up, who strained his hamstring. The player who scored a goal against Melbourne Victory when they met earlier this season at Marvel Stadium was originally named in the starting 11. Felt a twinge to the hamstring, so it's Nyongabiri, the brother of Elvis Kamsoba, who starts from the bench this evening. I'm sure he'd love to get out there and play against his brother at some point throughout the game tonight. The referee this evening, Reza Fagani, just asking for a change of ball, and we're away in the original rivalry, the 55th iteration here at Amy Park. Dylan Ryan called into action immediately. Jacob Butterfield down on his haunches as well in the first few seconds. And will we see some more drama, as if we haven't had enough in the lead up to this one? Archie Thompson joins me in commentary, the man who leads this fixture for the most goals scored, 13 of them, one of the many records you hold, Archie.
Thanks, Zappers. Yeah, an important match, obviously, for both teams on different levels. For Adelaide United, they want to get onto a little run.
Yes. First chance of the evening for Halloran, who tries his luck from outside the area, and that's well wide of the mark. But a lot to play for Adelaide, especially tonight, Archie.
Yeah, certainly, and over the last couple of games, I did watch a game in turf. I thought for 60 minutes of that game, they were outstanding, and there was a good opportunity for Ben Halloran there in that game, one-on-one. Liam Reddy stood strong, and then they ended up losing that game. And again, I thought they were really impressive against Melbourne City. Probably one of the first teams I've seen all year to really go at them, and I don't think the score line reflected the actual match, but for Melbourne Victory, there's a lot of players that are out of contract, playing for their futures. When you talk about players that are contractors, there's not many of them, and with Popovich coming in, even that's uncertain. But look, there's a great crowd here tonight. The regional rivalry, I've played in a lot of these games. I know the intensity. It doesn't matter about positions or form leading into this one. It's a one-off game, and it's always starts with a lot of fire.
Full credit to the Melbourne Victory and Adelaide United fans here in very good numbers tonight. We've seen them over the years gather in that corner, the Reds fans, and they've had some memorable nights here in Melbourne. None more so than 10 years ago when Sergio Van Dijk scored a free kick from 30 yards out. They won 4-1 that evening. Their biggest ever win against Melbourne Victory away from home.
I didn't play that game, so well,
of course not.
If I did, I probably erased it from my memory. But look, when you look at the team's form over the season, Carl Witt has done amazing with this young squad that a lot of people probably at the start of the season didn't think could be where they are at the moment. I mean, a lot was said for Alan Stagic's Central Coast Mariners team, but you know, they're on the verge of a final. But for Adelaide, it's about starting to get that consistency again. I know that that tight top six, it's obviously Melbourne City were here last night. Zappa's wonderful atmosphere, wonderful scenes for a club that's just been on the verge so many times of looking to do something. But for Adelaide, it's about showing form and consistency and really cementing a six.
Just one win in their last 7, Adelaide United. They need to find that form that had them up in second position on the table earlier in the year. There's one player who's added to their squad Monday from Perth Glory midfielder. Clearance run down by Ben Falami. Let's look at Adelaide's last 7. Their win week 21 against Brisbane, getting them out of that rush. But then a midweek loss to Perth Glory, who are in red-hot form. And, of course, you can catch Perth Glory and Macarthur right after this one. A triple header here on Fox Sports this evening. Strain forward for Halloran. Traore cutting it out. Broxham read it well. There was some decisiveness at the back there for Melbourne Victory, and Lee Broxham took matter into his own hands.
And that's going to be key for Melbourne Victory, how they stop these wide wing backs. We know that Ryan Kiddo and even Ryan Strain over this side love to get forward. An amount of energy that he gives, especially in those wide areas in that final third, can cause a lot of teams damage. And we know that with Melbourne Victory, they've conceded goals in their last 15 matches, which is something they need to rectify against a team that, when they get into their flow, are really, really dangerous. So we did see that with Craig Goodwin, he got himself a goal against Brisbane. He was on a little bit of a drought. He's another key player that they really need to focus on.
Jordan Elsey, who's played every game this season for Adelaide United. Reds boosted by the return of Michael Jakobsen as well this evening. It'll be a difficult defence to penetrate for Rudy Gested and co. Halloran's been everywhere in the first few minutes. Can he keep this one in? He can. Ball takes a deflection and out of play for Adelaide United ball. Craig Goodwin will be the one to deliver it. Hearing that Goodwin will not be made part of the Socceroos squad. Some of the Socceroos staff already over in United Arab Emirates, preparing for their World Cup qualifiers coming up. And you can catch them also on Fox Sports. 4 games in a matter of 12 days. Goodwin, deflection, another corner.
And that's obviously great news for Adelaide United, because we know his quality. And when he starts to show form, his delivery into that box is always so dangerous. When you look at his stats this year, he's been really, really impressive. Scoring goals, assists, secondary assists.
Another corner at the near post. Jakobsen made the run. It was a good one. And we'll go again 3 times in a row. 3 corners for Adelaide United.
And that's that quality that Craig Goodwin has. Swings it in with real venom and speed that you can just attack.
14th player to play 100 games for Adelaide tonight. The header across the crossbar. It was Jordan Elsey again, the target. And he struck it well, Archie, not far away for the Reds.
I just alluded to the quality of Craig Goodwin and the way that he swings that ball across that 18-yard box.
There's a chance now for Callum McManaman in plenty of space. Can he find the delivery? He can't, and that's good running back by Josh Cavallo.
That ball, Jordan Elsey, been a real highlight for Adelaide United this year. It's great purchase and direction into goal, but it was that quality of cross from Craig Goodwin.
Doesn't score many, Jordan Elsey, but when he does, he loves the celebration. Is Nyongabiri. Pacific Nyongabiri trying to get around Traore. That's no easy task. Traore does beautifully there. Clears the danger for Victory with a neat pass to Brimmer. Oh, given away. Cavallo. Terrible mistake by Butterfield. Couldn't make him pay. Ball into the area, headed away by Broxham. Brimmer in tight space, found the pass for Traore. Just can't afford those sort of mistakes. Jake Brimmer was there to help in the end, but it was Jacob Butterfield who gave it away, Archie.
Well, you can look, they got played into a really tight area, and there was that pressure. Just shaped it to go onto his right, which is not his favourite foot, but Cavallo has been outstanding since he's been brought to this club. I know that he signed a 2-year contract after his performances, his work ethic. We're used to seeing him out wide in that fullback position, which he's not been accustomed to, but he's really delivered for Adelaide. But I like him more central. You can see that was a foul, but just took it onto his right.
It was that game against Melbourne Victory at Marvel Stadium that Cavallo came into the starting 11. He's been terrific ever since. Of course, was at Western United. Couldn't get much game time there. Picked up by Carl Wiertz, and smart signing. Ryan under pressure, gets his pass away, late challenge. No yellow card, but it will be a free kick by Halloran for that foul. Good to see Stephen Moore back in the starting 11 tonight. Missed that game against Perth. He wins the free kick here. He's had an outstanding season, Stephen Moore. To one day. Now Jakobsen with long ball. Broxham has been busy early, the Victory captain. What about Lee Broxham, Archie? Should we read anything into the fact that he's one of the players out of contract and hasn't been re-signed yet?
Yeah, well, look, there's a lot of players that are obviously having conversations with Tony Popovic. For me, I know that Lee Broxham's been part of this club, this DNA. When you talk about players, and there's not many that have been around since day dot, especially here at Melbourne Victory and other clubs. And I feel like he's someone that Tony Popovic would like to hang around because, you know, when you think of squads and how small they are, he's so versatile. And we call him Mr. Fix-It. Real late challenge there from Callum McManaman, but he's able to play in the back. He can play out wide defensively, can slot back into the defensive midfield, and those are really key if you've got someone that's so versatile when you're lacking squad numbers, as the A-League have suffered over the period of time with the number of players. So I feel like for Tony Popovic, he'd be key to sign.
Ryan Strain having an argument with the referee. You won't win too many of those arguments with Reza Fagani. The Reds win the free kick. Jakobsen to get them up on their way again. Nyongabiri. Late inclusion tonight for the Reds, a first ever start for Adelaide United for Pacific Nyongabiri. 15 substitute appearances for this season. Jested flicks the header on, but Barnett is there as well to help. Tight for Butterfield. Puts it into space, looking for Falami, but Jordan Elsey positions himself well and clears the danger.
Yeah, Falami's been outstanding for Melbourne Victory over this last month or so. Got so much energy. We're seeing the game on Wednesday night against Sydney FC. When he's got space in front of him or it's 1v1, he's not afraid to take players on. In those sort of areas, you want players to have that confidence. It's certainly been a joy. Unfortunately, for large periods of this season, he's been injured. We haven't been able to see. We've only had glimpses of what he's capable of, but I tell you what, when he's playing, it's a real delight to watch.
He's had a good run since Steve Keane has taken over. 7 games in charge now for Steve Keane. 1 win, 1 draw, 5 losses since Grant Brebner was shown the exit door.
Both teams just trying to find their rhythm at the moment. No really clear-cut opportunities except for that header from Jordan Elsey, but we're used to seeing Adelaide start games really, really well and get the ball down on the ground, moving it around, lots of touches. It's been more of a common theme for Melbourne Victory just to sit back and absorb a lot of the pressure.
Monday receiving from Halloran and now Elsey. This is Ryan Strain. Now a chance down the left-hand side. Goodwin couldn't control it. It's over for a goal kick. Might note as well, Archie, that the Toure brothers are out of the squad tonight. Al Hassan Toure and Mohamed Toure. I spoke to Carl Viet about that earlier today, and he said he just felt the boys needed to recharge and get some spark back. Perhaps a little wake-up call for them.
Yeah, and some of these youngsters maybe need that. I know when they burst onto the scene, there's all this excitement, and sometimes it's about keeping these young players grounded. And for Carl Viet, he knows how important it is to keep these young players switched on. And when you think of the run into the finals and where their position is, if you're an Adelaide player, you want to play. And if I was one of those Toure brothers, I'd be really disappointed that I wasn't a part of this. So if this is a wake-up call, you certainly be wanting to, change this around.
Yeah, so much promise for those two. I'm sure they'll be watching tonight. Desperate to get back into this squad as Nyongabiri tried to get around Traore, and Traore has won that battle so far tonight. One of the best defenders in the A-League, Adama Traore. It's an unforced error from Jake Brimmer. We don't see too many of those. He's been one of Victory's best in a very tough season, Brimmer.
Yeah, and I actually like him a little bit higher up in the pitch. I know that he's almost partnered Butterfield in that midfield. Obviously missing the likes of Robbie Cruz. That allows him to push a little bit further up the pitch, and his quality and his final ball, I feel like in that final third, is key for Melbourne Victory tonight.
Here's Goodwin. Halloran makes the run. Dylan Ryan well positioned, clears it. Brimmer under pressure. Kwande with a tough challenge. Halloran with a chance. Once again, Dylan Ryan throwing his body all over the place. And good defending. Victory under pressure. Ryan Kiddo couldn't keep the ball in play down that left-hand side, so he wins the throw.
Commentators curse again. I was just giving raps on Jake Brimmer.
Ryan with with the clearance, and that's another corner kick for Adelaide United. Corner number 4 early on in this one at Amy Park, the original rivalry. 55 times they've met. Adelaide dominated of late, 6 wins from the past 7. Goodwin again. Halloran the target that time. Brimmer wins the header. Falls loose, still in danger. Nyongabiri to Shivik Nyongabiri. Good goalkeeping by Acton. Halloran's down. They want a penalty. They won't get it. Free kick goes the other way. Desperate defending from Melbourne Victory to keep Adelaide at bay there.
Well, they needed to be disciplined because the ball was bouncing around, and when you've got players falling down on their feet, penalties can be given. We've seen it all year. But Matty Acton made himself really big when Nyongabiri got just a little bit of space. Didn't have much time or angle to really cause any damage there from Matty Acton. But you still got to stay alert in those sort of situations.
4 shots on target already for the Reds. Victory yet to test James Delianov. It's for Lamy. Back to Barnett. Now Butterfield with the switch of play. It's a terrific ball for McManaman. Here's Callum McManaman with some time. Barnett. Storm Rue. Intercepted by Craig Goodwin. 26 goals for Adelaide United. And Craig Goodwin, 3rd most for the club. Only 2 ahead of him. One's here tonight, Bruce Tite and Travis Dodd. Both great servants of the Adelaide United Football Club.
Smart play from Callum McManaman there. Sort of kiddo was coming and just dropped the shoulder, used his speed. Really dangerous area to concede, especially when you look at the likes of Jested, and we know the quality of Jake Brimmer's delivery into that 18-yard box.
Yeah, we've seen him score from this scenario this year. Rudy Jested will be the primary target here. It's in his direction. He does make contact, but not enough. Halloran with the clearance.
You see they were paying a lot of attention to Jested. Managed just to get a bit of a yard of space. Just couldn't direct the speed of that ball from Jake Brimmer.
Four goals for Rudy Jested this season. 3 of them, I think, from the head Archie. Here's Butterfield. Loses out in the midfield. Fortuitously falls to Traore. Nice pass by Dylan Ryan.
And that was a great opportunity there to just turn on the ball for Jacob Butterfield. When you get a ball that pierces out of a line of pressure, that's when you've got to turn and start to make your forward runs.
That's the sort of pass you want to see from a central defender.
Yeah,
breaks to the line.
Yeah, breaks that line.
Here they come, Traore. Finds a pass. McManaman goes one way, then the other. Perhaps deliberated on it too long, Archie. It was a nice opening for Victory. The Reds come the other way. Cavallo. Long ball cut out by Traore. Now for Lamy. There's 2 to beat here. Ball out of play and throw in to Melbourne Victory. Yeah, McManaman, if he had his time again, would take the shot earlier, Archie.
Yeah, I would think so. Adama, I love when he gets in these sort of positions when he's driving at defence. It was a beautifully weighted pass into the run of Callum McManaman. Could have almost used the inside of his foot and hit the far post, low and hard.
Storm route to McManaman again. This time he'll deliver across in the Jested direction. And it's good defending. Michael Jakobsen and Jordan Elsey were so tight there on Rudy Jested.
And they need to be, because we know how strong he is in the air. But with Callum McManaman, you almost could say, OK, well, he's been in that position before when he's taken a touch. He's done a couple of jinks and scored goals. So you can understand probably why he thought that he could take a touch there. But the better option for me was low and hard, the inside of the foot to the net, back post.
Butterfield for Falami. Still Ben Falami for Melbourne Victory. Inside the area now. Kwande comes to help. Adelaide get rid of the danger for the moment. Ryan Strain. Jested with the header. That's tough from that distance. He got plenty of it. The accuracy wasn't there, though.
It's always going to be difficult to get any kind of purchase and direction, especially where he's heading that ball. But you can already see that once they get any kind of space in that front third, they're going to be delivering balls into that 18-yard box, and that's where Jakobsen, Elsey need to be really switched on. One player for me that, again, has been really, really impressive is Jordan Elsey. His distribution out of the back line has been sensational this year.
Dylan Ryan with some work to do there. Had to concede the corner in the end. Number 5 now for the Reds. Then Halloran's been good early. It's hustle off the ball. Puts Melbourne Victory under pressure from time after time, Archie, and it's exactly what Carl Beard will be wanting his players to do. They know that Melbourne Victory lacking confidence at the moment. The opposite side now for Goodwin. Nyongabiri, Goodwin to the near post. Cavallo. Barnett with the header away. Now Butterfield. There's a wall of yellow in front of him. Just plays it into space for Ben Falami. Ryan Strain. Plays it back to James Delianov.
Yeah, just with that corner kick, it looked like Craig Goodwin just tried to guide it into the player at the near post there and get a 1-2. Just didn't come off. They need, when Melbourne Victory break numbers forward, you could just see that Adelaide had numbers back.
A good change coming here for Adelaide United. It's Joe Coletti getting himself ready, so Stefan Mork looks like he's picked up an injury. No, he missed midweek against Perth. Here's Goodwin, controls the long ball well. Shot saved by Acton at the near post. The offside flag does eventually go up.
And that was what I was talking about, that distribution. It was a beautiful ball into space. Craig Goodwin just applauding that pass. Just made a nice run off the shoulders, but the ball needed to be inch perfect. I don't know if it was Craig Goodwin that obviously was caught offside, but I've seen a lot of balls that have been played from Jordan Elsey in those sort of positions that really just change the point of attack. It can be so dangerous.
So Coletti preparing himself on the bench, receiving instructions from Eugene Galekovic and Ross Aloisi. Kiddo looking for Halloran. Now again, Cavallo can't run that one down. Broxham to Barnett, who returned to the starting 11 this evening. That's a nice movement from Victory. And Butterfield find a pass, just laboured on it for too long. And then put McManaman under lots of pressure. Need to see more from Jacob Butterfield. He's getting plenty of it, Archie, but the distribution, the decision-making, just not there at the moment.
Yeah, I'll have to say, probably over the last few weeks, he's been not too bad. Another situation, he could have played it forward a little bit quicker.
Mork now to Nyongabiri. Then Traore. Traore using his body well there. Reds fans thought there might have been something in it. Play on the call. Dangerous pass there. Kiddo cuts it out, gives away the free kick whilst doing so.
Just with Adama Traore in those sort of positions, 1v1, as an attacker, he loves when you start to slow down and try to do little tricks like that because he's so strong, he just gets his body across. I'd like probably Yongabiri in those sort of positions, just go with speed. Because you're never going to win that physical battle with Adama Traore because he's so strong.
So the change for Adelaide United just being paused for a moment. Free kick there against Jake Brimmer. Stephen Morg, I think, will be the player, but he's just given a signal to the bench that he wants to keep going.
Yeah, look, he doesn't seem to be moving as freely. You could see that the left calf's heavily strapped. I'm sure that I think he pulled out of that Perth game right before kickoff or the warm-up. And it's crucial that they have these players ready for these next few games going into finals, especially with your captain and your leader and someone that can pop up and score goals, because we've seen all year those late runs into the 18-yard box have been fantastic from Stephen Morg.
Yeah, a couple of home games to come for Adelaide United after this one. Big one next week against Sydney FC. And then another one at Hindmarsh against Western Sydney. All those teams entrenched in this run for the top 6. It's going to go down to the wire. Sydney FC, of course, winning in the first game this evening in the Sydney derby against Western Sydney at the SCG. Here's Halloran. Yongabiri made good position. It was a terrific run and an even better pass. And the shot wasn't too far off in the end.
Yeah, it came in some... Ben Halloran there with some pace. Always so hard when the ball bounces just in front of you to really keep it down. He did so well to keep it in the direction of the goal. But one thing I was just noticing there for Melbourne Victory, just sitting so deep, allowing Adelaide United to just bring the ball up into that final third. Just need to be a little bit more pressure on the ball, because you can see the way that Adelaide United are pressing that ball, making it so difficult for Melbourne Victory to get out of their own defence.
Victory did well to get that one out of trouble under that press. Here's McManaman. Nice movement. McManaman looking for Jested. Plays for a handball there. Jested still going for Victory. The flag is raised. Will they take a look at this one? Offside the last call, but Victory fans thought there might have been something in it. Victory players, though, not remonstrating, which seems to tell us enough.
I actually thought that it might have come off Ben Falami's hand, and that's probably why we didn't hear too much from Melbourne Victory. Just see there, maybe a hand, you could say, that might have just drifted offside. But those are sort of areas you want Jested to be, and that's the delivery you want.
Morg rises high to win the header. Traore plays it back to Acton.
And this is when that ball comes out from Matty Acton. That defence of Melbourne Victory should be pushing up with the ball, knowing you could see that Ben Falami's, okay, it was going to be a difficult ball to get any kind of control on, but that's when you need to start to push your defence up. At the moment, they're sitting way too deep.
Jakobsen going forward. It's a rare sight. Kiddo to Halloran. Here he is, Kiddo. Ball in for Traore to head it away. Jakobsen strong in the air. Now Victory with some space. Brimmer has Falami offering on the left. Falami uses his body and his strength and wins the corner kick for Melbourne. It's been a little bit better from the home side in the last few minutes, Archie.
Yeah, look, when they do break that press and they go forward, that's when they look to be dangerous. We know the speed and quality of Ben Falami, especially in wide areas, 1v1. Ryan Strain did really well just to block that run. This is what they need to do a little bit more, a bit more intensity going forward.
First corner for Victory. Nice one, Yongabiri. Geez, that was a tough challenge. 2 Adelaide players down. Victory continue to play. Gee, I'll tell you what, if that had gone in, that would have been a very controversial moment with 2 Adelaide United players involved in a very hefty clash there. Both committed to the ball. Jacob Butterfield continuing play, taking a shot on goal after that.
Look, it was a great header, but from Yongabiri. He's only small in stature, but he got a great leap.
A bit taller than his brother.
I think there's a lot of people that are taller than his brother. But that's sort of the conviction you want and that defending you want from all your players when you're defending corners. Obviously, Jakobsen's come off a little bit gingery with that one.
Yeah, the usual tests are now being done from the doctor. Here it is. Look at this commitment from Jakobsen and Yongabiri. Jakobsen coming off second best. Yongabiri, a late inclusion tonight after Kusini Yengi injured his hamstring in the warm-up. Michael Jakobsen also another inclusion, returning to the starting 11 this evening. Such an important player for them in the heart of that defence. Well, he looks okay, Archie. We can only hope that he hasn't picked up any concussion from that very hefty clash.
Look at all the tests that they do now. It's always the players' welfare they've got in mind. So I know that they'd be very stringent on what they do. It looks to be okay. I know it was a hefty challenge. He's a tough boy.
Victory not giving the ball back. Butterfield plays it on for McManaman. Brimmer is there. Handball claims from Adelaide. Play on. McManaman. Brimmer again. Jakobsen involved there. Does well to steal the ball away. Now Goodwin. Momentum here with Adelaide. Stefan Mork. Yongabiri. Strain is there in support. Falami wins it for Victory. And that's well worked. Ben Falami, terrific pass to Traore, and now Butterfield. Oh, dear me, Jacob Butterfield. Melbourne Victory had all the momentum, and a simple pass missed again.
Look, just trying to find his range. I know it was a simple ball, and he shouldn't be missing his man, especially at this level when they were looking to break. But just that little bit of football before when Adelaide came into that final third there. Josh Cavello, what a beautiful weighted pass into the path of Craig Goodwin. He's just such an exceptional passer of the ball. He's got such good depth, touch, and his work ethic. I love his work ethic. I can see why the Adelaide, Carl Viet, have rewarded him with another contract.
Nice ball in. It's time for Halloran. Traore is there yet again. Butterfield finds his range this time to Gestet. Now Brimmer. That one cut out by Cavallo. He's everywhere at the moment.
Exactly what I was just saying. His willingness to win that ball back, and you can see the number of Adelaide players that press that ball, that really don't let Melbourne Victory get into any kind of rhythm going forward.
Strain can't keep it in. That's a goal kick. Carl Viet will be concerned that his team hasn't been able to take the lead here. They've had better of the first half. On a 5-game winless run away from home, the Reds. coming at the end of March away from home against the Newcastle Jets. Falami receives from Butterfield. Does very well, Falami. No foul, though. Nail stopped, thinking it may be given his one day.
I actually thought it was a foul because Ryan Strain sort of held him back there when he got around him, but you can see what Ryan Strain's trying to do there. He's trying to close down the space so he doesn't let Ben Falami get into any kind of stride with the ball, because that's when he's at his most dangerous.
Two Ryans, left and right back tonight. Here's the other one, Kiddo. Goodwin. Now Cavallo. Terrific by Josh Cavallo for Craig Goodwin! That was beautiful play from Adelaide United, and Craig Goodwin puts the icing on the cake. A pass of the highest quality from Josh Cavallo. And they celebrate with the Red Army, the Reds on top at Amy.
Well, it's Craig Goodwin. He just rides a challenge there, composes himself, looks up. Josh Cavallo just finds a pocket of space, and this is what I'm talking about. That deft pass, it had to be perfect, but it was also the weighted touch here from Craig Goodwin to get around his defender, and he just kept it low and hard. Nothing much Matty Atkins can do about that, but that touch right there glides past his defender, has that composure in front of goals. He goes and celebrates with his Adelaide supporters.
That's what it means to them, this Adelaide United side. So much at stake this evening. Craig Goodwin joins Tommy Urich and Stephen Mork with 7 goals for the season. It was just so good to watch.
It was beautiful to watch. What was probably concerning for Steve Keane was the amount of time that Craig Goodwin had to be able to just pick off Josh Cavallo, who found a pocket of space, but still there was not much pressure on the ball. But it was that deft pass in behind, and it was an even better touch from Craig Goodwin to take it onto his left, and that low, hard finish.
He's got a spring in his step now. Goodwin to Mork. Stephen Mork in space. Here's Nyongabiri. Can they make it 2 here? Oh, dear me. Not far away was Stephen Mork looking to receive. A great chance again. Goes begging for the Reds.
That amount of pressure now that Adelaide United are putting on Melbourne Victory's defence. Ball a little bit heavy from Stephen Mork, but it was a great cutback, and this is what Stephen Mork has done really well this season, that late run, especially from that penalty area, to get himself onto so many goals this season. Really concerning for Melbourne Victory is the amount of space that Adelaide United are finding in that final third.
Just when you thought Victory were looking more likely, Reds strike. Can Victory respond here? Gested out to McManaman. Now Stormroo. Barnett under pressure. And the pressure forces the turnover. Good pressing from the Reds. Here's Strain. Again to Goodwin. We've seen that combination a few times tonight. Now another ball in dangerous area for Ben Halloran. Dylan Ryan needed to be good. He was there.
You can see Kiddo is just saying Halloran to make the run a little bit earlier, because it was a perfect ball in an area that's really dangerous for a defender and the goalkeeper, because you could just get a deflection. Halloran gets in front of his defender, it's a goal. But look, Adelaide United are doing really, really well. When you look at Yengi, who's just gone out before this injury, he's at that high point, which Adelaide like to bounce off. But you can see what it means to Adelaide when you look at the ladder.
So tight there in the top 6. The live ladder shows Adelaide 3rd. If they can win tonight, they'll be in third position. Of course, MacArthur to play later this evening against Perth Glory in Perth, right after this one.
You can see with Ben Halloran, he's playing more of a central role. But what he does too is he likes to make really smart runs in behind, use his speed.
Strain. Lovely ball across for Halloran. And another chance for Adelaide United. Once again getting in behind. This time it was down the right-hand side. Ryan Strain making a good run, receiving from Stephen Morgan. Halloran making good position yet again, just missing Arch.
This is what I said. This is the Melbourne Victory that need to defend these areas out wide a lot better, because we know the attacking threat that Adelaide United especially have when they had those late runs coming from fullback. Ryan Strain does it so well. We're seeing Kiddo get in those positions to deliver.
Just dead out wide for McManaman. Find some space for McManaman. Look at that work rate from Ryan Strain. He's on the last line of defence there to head the ball away.
McManaman so dangerous in that area.
Given away by Dylan Ryan, and this is dangerous to Victory. Nyongabiri to Moore. They've got plenty of numbers inside the box. Goodwin on his right to Cavallo this time to try to return the favour. Did Craig Goodwin. The deflection out for a corner. Craig didn't want to take that shot on his right, did he?
No, he didn't. But to look at the structure of Melbourne Victory just seems to be all out of whack in that counter-attack. Not getting numbers back quick enough.
But when you turn over the ball like that, it's hard, isn't it? Dylan Ryan missing an easy pass there, and you lose your structure. You're pushing numbers forward. It's hard to recoup from that.
100%. But then you see the way that Adelaide United players are trying to get forward off the ball. That's the sort of effort you want to see from Melbourne Victory. If they lose the ball in dangerous areas, get back quick enough into your structure. I just haven't seen it in this little period for Melbourne Victory.
Goodwin with the corner. It was a decent delivery, but no one making that run at the far post that time. So it'll be a lot more comfortable Adelaide United bench at half-time after that goal from Craig Goodwin. Two minutes to be added at the end of this first half. Salami finds Brimmer. Put the numbers back for the Reds. Traore whips it in early for Gested, who rises high and puts his header wide of the mark. That was good from Adama Traore. Early ball in, giving Rudy Gested an opportunity.
Well, it's the first time we've really seen him go forward. I mean, he gave a nice opportunity for Callum McManaman early on in this first half, but it's the first time we've really seen him in the final third. Always going to be so difficult to get any kind of purchase and direction with that much speed, especially that far out from goal. You can just see that Jake Brimmer picked up a really beautiful spot. Just need to see a little bit more of that mobility from him.
Here's Butterfield. Traore making another run forward. Elsie stops him in his tracks and just clears his lines. Adelaide have won both these encounters this season. Can they make it a clean sweep here tonight? 1-0 win in week 5 in Adelaide, and a 3-1 victory for them at Marvel Stadium. They've only ever done that once before, all 3 occasions in a season, picking up 3 points against Victory, and it was in season 1, Archie. Here's Nyongabiri with one last chance for the Reds. Moore, deflection off Ryan, and had Matt Acton scrambling at his near post. At the moment, the Reds are all over the home side.
Nyongabiri's done a a mountain of running here on the right side. Hasn't played much football. You can see he's a little bit gassed there. To Craig Goodwin. Beautiful finish, beautiful bit of football from Adelaide and set up that goal.
It's the Reds with the advantage at half-time here at Amy Park. Craig Goodwin's goal, the difference. Melbourne Victory 0, Adelaide United 1. 7 goals for the season for Craig Goodwin. Stephen Morg is the captain.